very good morning to you, dear listener, and welcome to Perspectives, a current affairs discussion program on Agate Radio 95.5 Star FM, Makudi, Benue State. This morning on Perspectives, the Friday edition, our discussion shall focus on the approval for the establishment of the North Central Development Commission. The Senate President Godswill Akpabio earlier this week, Tuesday, announced on the floor of the Senate that President Bola Tinubu, representing Benue South, and Senate Minority Leader Dr. Abba Moro, has successfully been assented to by the President after many years of agitations for the creation of the North Central Development Commission by past governments, including former Governor Samuel Otom and other public affairs commentators who have advocated a need for a equation to be balanced for the North Central Development Commission to be established to address the ravage being caused by armed banditry and armed invasions in parts and states of the North Central. To what extent, now that the commission has been approved for establishment, we address the concerns of development challenges, infrastructure deficit, especially that the North Central region has been battered over the years by several insecurity issues ranging from armed banditry and herdsmen invasion and stuff like that. These are the issues which I try to interrogate on today's edition of Perspectives. Set an agenda for this commission, the areas it should look into to address the plight of the North Central people. I have been joined here in the studio by a clergy and a public affairs commentator who has been a frontline voice on these issues to offer insights on this subject matter. Pastor Dave Ogbole is our guest on Perspectives. Welcome to the program, Pastor Ogbole.
It's always a pleasure to be here on Agate Radio. Thank you, Nat, for inviting me.
And later in the course of the program, we will be joined virtually from just the Plateau State capital by the Secretary General of the Conference of Autochthonous Ethnic Nationalities Community Development Association, Suleman Sukukum, will join us from just Plateau State to also share insights with us on this subject matter, especially that Plateau is also facing some of these challenges and is not insulated. If you are joining Perspectives for the first time, kindly be informed that it is audience participatory, and at 10 o'clock we will allow you, the listener, to phone in to also contribute on what we are discussing. You can do so by reaching us on the number 0814-335-9292. The number for calls on the program is 0814-335-9292. Meanwhile, you can also send us an SMS or WhatsApp message to participate on the program. The line through which you can reach us is 0912-699-9404. 0912-699-9404. And we are available on Radio Garden, where the program is streaming, and on social media platforms as well. Log on to our website on www.agateradio.tv.com to listen to us and access other content of Agate Radio as well. You may also download the Agate Radio and TV app from Google Play Store, a one-stop app which avails you the platform of the television online, the newspaper, as well as the radio. We are available on all these platforms to serve you beyond boundaries. Kindly join us to be a part of this edition of Perspectives. Pastor Ogbole, in view, maybe soon to be. Pastor Ogbole, the North Central Development Commission announced by the Senate President. How did this news come to you when it was clearly established now that the commission will see the light of the day?
Thank you very much, Nat. Let me begin by laying some basic framework that will just give direction to our discussion here today.
Yes.
The concept of development commissions is something that is not new in Nigeria. It basically arose from the issue of minority agitations for development attention in Nigeria. The foundation of Nigeria after independence was laid on what we in political science will call the political tripod. As a political scientist, I have extensively, studied on that particular subject. The political tripod emphasizes the majority, or what they have labeled the majority tribes, the major tribes in Nigeria: Hausa, Yoruba, and Igbo. These three now form what we call the political tripod. And you discover that the agitation for Nigeria's independence was championed by actors who are prominent from these three tribes. And consequently, when the nation was given independence, these three tribes were at the forefront of driving post-independence issues in Nigeria. Therefore, they now have come up with what we call the political tripod. This political tripod, if you look at history, it has influenced the choice of political party formations. So basically, parties have been formed along this line. Number two, it has also informed. Number three, it has also influenced resource allocations, basically along these lines. And pre-independence, a lot of the minority group, or what you call so-called minority groups in Nigeria, saw this coming, and they began to strongly agitate for a balance or for equity in the state of Nigeria. Commissions being created by the colonialists who, began to see to it that they bring some people to the table to discuss the matter of equity in Nigeria. 1956 saw the creation of the Williamson Commission, which was to look at the plight of minorities within Nigeria who are not captured in the political tripod of Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba. Because the Nigerian state, all of the constituent states and tribes were not conquered into it. That's why we call it a federation. Federalism holds that these people are not conquered tribes. They willingly surrender their individual uniqueness or sovereignty to melt into statehood of Nigeria. And therefore, they deserve all of the resource allocations, leadership attentions, and a place also in the political thinking of the nation. So, the Williamson Commission came up with the resolve that until minority groups in Nigeria are given adequate attention, there will be no peace in Nigeria. But subsequent governments after that, especially post-independence, did not quite attend to that the commission report. And they allowed this minority issue to ferment. It's just like the serpent you leave unchecked in Genesis. It's now growing into a dragon in Revelation. So, all of the minority groups in Nigeria have over the time since independence watched what they call the majority group monopolize power, monopolize resources, monopolize political and developmental attention. And what was the result? Trouble began to ferment. Agitations that led even to armed struggles began to ferment. From the people of Ogoni up to the Biafran agitations and IPOB, everything is centered on the negligence of minorities as far as Nigeria's development agenda is concerned. And it took the government a long time to begin to not just pay lip service or turn deaf ears to this, because it became very, very obvious that until these questions are answered, there will be no collective peace in Nigeria. And anywhere there is no peace, development will be a mirage, ever pursued but never attained. And you are a witness with me that the Niger Delta crisis erupted, and the Nigerian government was forced now not just to create an amnesty program, but also to create for the first time a Niger Delta Development Commission.
Yes.
So it appears as if in the Nigerian state, every act of goodwill, every act of negotiation does not reach agenda status. It appears as if it has to take violence for issues to reach the ears and attention of the Nigerian government. And that is not a good game. So the Niger Delta Development Commission, the act was now passed, and then basically development commissions now, others began to agitate for that same kind of attention who have suffered what they constituted or what they call marginalization in terms of political attention. So what are the basic functions of the act that has been passed to law for Niger Delta Development Commission and also be passed into law for the Northeast Development Commission and assented to, and then the current one now, which is the North Central Development Commission. The commissions are mandated basically to conceive, to conceptualize, and to plan and implement projects and programs, for the sustainable development of its regions. They are also required to identify factors that are inhibiting the sound and efficient management of the resources of that particular region. So from the time the Niger Delta Development Commission was established and followed up by the Northeast Development Commission, others began to agitate also for that level of attention. And if you refer to the book that I wrote, which is the major text today on the subject matter of herdsmen crisis in Nigeria, the Benue peace option. One of the strong things I agitated for, or I opined or recommended in that book, is the post-crisis rehabilitation structures. And I recommended a creation of the North Central Development Commission just to give some post-crisis attention to the rehabilitation and development of North Central communities that have been ravaged, like you observed earlier, especially by the headers crisis. You will notice that from 2001, when the first casualty of the farmer headers crisis in Benue State, one Yotim Omande, was the first casualty of the crisis in 2001. According to I'm trying to remember the author now, one of our foremost scholars in Benue State. When I remember his name, I'm going to tell you.
Yes.
In his book. So he posited that the first casualty was Yotim Omande, who found a headman, and his cattle eating up his crops. And when he protested, a fight ensued, and then the Fulani man drew out his knife and killed the man. That was the first casualty. From that time, when it came to up to 2018, nothing less than 5,000 human beings have been, killed, and nothing less than properties worth $14 billion have been destroyed across Benue State, owing from herdsmen invasion of our communities. I don't want to call it herdsmen crisis, because various names or political colorations have been given to it in order to skew the narratives and to make it look as if it was, herdsmen, farmers clashes. It is not clashes between herdsmen and farmers. It is not boundary dispute. It is actually an invasion of peaceful farming communities by armed bandits and herdsmen, usually of the Fulani stock. And I say this because they have never denied it. It is not an accusation. It's not ethnic profiling. They have never denied, these atrocities. Rather, they have given reasons which range from rustling of their cattle to stealing of their cattle or to killing of one of their ardos or kinsmen. In 2017, when Solomon Arase was IGP, a peace meeting was held here at the government house, and when they were asked, one Ardo, he said they invaded Agatu because Agatu people, collected, Agatu people killed 1,000 of their cows. So we now asked in that meeting, is it possible that 1,000 cows killed can be a hidden thing? Where is the evidence? So you are admitting now that you invaded the whole community and you killed 500 people because 1,000 of your cows were killed. And I was at the public hearing. I presented a memorandum on behalf of Benue State at the public hearing in Abuja, where I challenged Solomon Arase. I said, why did you not arrest that man who admitted that he spearheaded the killing of 500 people? You allowed him to walk out of Benue State government house unarrested. You, I want an accomplice also. And the chairman of the public hearing said, Arase, can you answer to this accusation that this gentleman has posted to you? The man said, there are certain sensitive things that cannot be divulged in public, and that if he sees the committee in camera, he'll be able to give them some privileged security information about that. They say, no. Why did you allow a man who admitted to mass murder go free without being arrested? So, Benue and some parts of the North Central became a killing field, where some people insisted that their cows must feast on grasses watered by the blood of the people and manured by the carcasses of our loved ones. So that was the story. And Benue, Plateau, Nasarawa, and a host of some of the North Central states have been victims of this. It has left, in Benue in particular, we the Tiv people, we the Idoma people, we are proud people who want to eat from our barns, and then every single day we sweep the graves of our ancestors. That is where we want to live in. So to live in IDP camps all these years, and we're simply dreaming of our homelands, is something that hurts the soul of the Tiv man, is something that hurts the soul of the Idoma man. So for this move now, he brought the bill to the House. The bill passed the first reading, second reading, public hearings were done, and now it was, passed into an act, and the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, courageously has assented to it. This is the dawning of a new day for the North Central people, and this is to be highly, highly commended on the. So it is something. It's a news that we received with a sense of gladness and a sense of jubilee for raw materials that feeds the production processes in the north and also in the south is now going to be given some development attention. What do I mean by that? The North Central basically has been left undeveloped for a long time, and because of this, our raw materials cannot be processed. They are now fed into the production processes in the far north and also in the industrialized south. Even our human resources too. If you go to the south, or if you go to up north, especially the south, and you see people working, they are usually from the North Central. We are hardworking people, we're intelligent people, but there are no bases, no apparatuses, no structures socially and industrially for us to feed in our human resource. Therefore, our human resource leave this place and they go up and also they go down. But now, with this, now we believe that the member states in the North Central will come together, formulate these policies, and see to its implementation so that the much needed development of the North Central can be achieved. So this is a news, is an event of great joy.
All right, good enough. Now, these development commissions we have then, I think with the assent for the B establishing the North Central, it means almost every region of the country is balanced now. There is one in the Northeast, there is one in the Southeast, and South
Commission, and then Southeast has also not been given a development commission. So the ones we have is the Niger Delta Development Commission, the Northeast Development Commission, and now the North Central Development Commission. So Northwest is still left out, and then Southeast is still left out.
All right. Now, let's look at it this way. Do you believe the passing or the assent to this bill for the establishment of the North Central Development Commission, do you, in your opinion, will you consider it as a response to the devastation of the region by armed conflict?
Yes, that forms an underlying basis, especially the post-crisis rehabilitations. If you see, it has assumed that characteristic, like I said in the beginning, where development attention, which should be given as a result of need assessment, is now not given as in response to needs assessment, but agitations. It is not supposed to be so as far as the running of government is concerned. But so that's why I said earlier, it appears as if peace does not get the attention of the federal government. It appears as if it's only trouble that brings issues to agenda status. Are you understanding what I'm talking about?
Very well.
So from the Kensarowiwa Ogoni uprising to the Niger Delta militancy, those were the issues now that began to disrupt oil exploration, which is the major stay of Nigeria's revenue. So they were forced now to give attention to Niger Delta. And the Northeast also they were forced by the Boko Haram matter to give attention to that place. Northwest is being ravaged by banditry now. In fact, it's the headquarters of banditry. And because of their concentration there, they began to spread to other areas of Nigeria. That's why Northwest is agitating for a commission. Southeast is agitating also for a commission because of the lack of development attention and lack of inclusion in political thinking. Since the Civil War, the Igbo man has basically been relegated. And because of that, they developed some tough skin and resilience. And they began to now, remove themselves from the Nigerian state and to form an economic culture that is self-sustaining. Today, the Southeast is the richest region in Nigeria. The Southeast is also topmost in terms of educational performance. Because those people were not given opportunities to play major role in Nigeria's leadership because of the lack of trust after the Civil War. They think if the Igbo man becomes president, he is going to orchestrate the breakaway or the cessation of the Biafran state. So they have not given him political, attention in terms of rulership at the top. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about. So that agitation around that area has occasioned an economic backwardness too. And they are now saying, hey, we need a commission that will cater to our development. Southeast has very bad roads. Southeast is, has one or two problems also, systemic, that the government needs to attend to. So basically it is trouble now. And North Central has her fair share of trouble, basically of the herdsmen crisis. But that is usually not enough until some courageous people rise up to say, we need this, and they begin to agitate and negotiate at the high levels. So basically, trouble is an underlying factor. But number two, I want to arrive now, political lobbying. Are you understanding me?
Very well.
Political lobbying is the trigger point because your trouble is not enough to gain federal government attention. If trouble was enough, the Buhari administration should have given a North Central Development Commission ever since, because that administration superintended over the mass killing of people in the North Central. Yet, of all of these cries, he turned deaf ears to it. So the political lobbying and also the political will of the people at the helm of affairs. That's why I commend strongly President Ahmed Bola Tinubu for assenting to this particular one.
All right. We've now been joined virtually by the Secretary General, Conference of Autochthonous Ethnic Nationalities, Community Development Association, and a Public Affairs Commentator, Suleman Sukukum, who joins us from just the Plateau State capital. Good morning, Mr. Sukukum.
Good morning, Nathaniel.
Thank you very much for joining us here on Perspectives on Agate Radio in Makurdi.
It's my pleasure.
Very well. How is just the Plateau State capital this morning?
We thank God all is well.
Okay. Now, Mr. Sukukum, you are aware that President Bola Tinubu has assented to the bill for the establishment of the North Central Development Commission. How did this news come to you when the president granted this assent, as announced Tuesday in the Senate by Senate President Godswill Akpabio?
It's a pleasant news. A welcome development. This has been something we've been expecting, largely because all the other geopolitical zones have their commissions in place, and it's the North Central that has been behind. But for sure, most of us have been expecting that will happen. So it's really a good news.
All right. Now, as you mentioned, the North Central has been hit by some of these crises. Do you believe the establishment of this commission is a response to the devastation of the region by armed conflicts ranging from herdsmen invasion and banditry and all the other security challenges we have in the North Central region?
That's one of the reasons. But we must situate the creation of the regional commissions with respect to others. And my understanding from my engagements is that the establishment of regional commissions started, first of all, from the demand by the people of the Rivers Ogoja during the Willings Commission for a commission that will be able to address the specific developmental needs of the Niger Delta. Following the devastation of the Northeast by Boko Haram, there was also the demand for the creation of a commission that will take care of the victims of those atrocities and help the communities to develop based on their specific needs. I think these two things basically form the bedrock of the establishment of the regional commissions. There have been consensus all across that regions need to be able to work together to address their specific needs. So yes, the devastation in the North Central, the crisis, the security challenges are one part of it, but that's a temporary thing that we don't hope will continue for a very long time. But a commission will outlive that, and the main focus of the commission, therefore, is actually the development of the region based on its specific needs and terrain.
Okay, now states in the North Central, especially Benue, Plateau is also not insulated from this, have been hit with a several number of internally displaced persons. How will the Commission address the plight, especially with regards to the resettlement of these IDPs in some of the states?
Yeah, before one deals with the problem of IDPs, one has to also consider the security situation, which is largely the responsibility of the security agencies. And I think a commission like that is supposed to be able to be supportive to the security agencies, especially the police, civil defense, community watch, community state security outfits, to support them with logistics to enable them to provide security. That's one of the first things that has to be considered. A major thing is that when people are displaced, their lives are really in distress. They don't know where to farm. They don't have where to farm. They don't know what to eat, and people go into so an immediate response to such things is largely the responsibility of the National Emergency Commission and others. But then the Commission can also do a lot in assisting in that area. And from what we have seen in the Northeast, especially, the reconstruction of many of these communities that have been displaced is very key. And I think there are some key areas that have to be taken into cognizance, providing a kind of renewed types of settlement in some of the areas where people normally live scattered, so they can actually congregate, providing security outposts, providing security fencing, providing other infrastructures that will enable these people to that have been built, but they are in the thousands, and that has enabled a lot of these communities to have a place to stay, even if it is outside their homeland, in urban areas where they're able to live. I think this is very, very important. But beyond that, it's also the need for them to support them psychosocially, help working with NGOs. I don't have to mention now, but I think these are major areas in them with livelihood support so that they can go back to normal life despite the atrocities that have affected them.
Okay. Now, across the states in the North Central region, what peculiar development challenges Kwara, Kogi, and also the other states?
Yeah, while I'm somehow aware of some of the developmental challenges, I think for a commission to properly do something that is scientific in terms of development, there is the need for the commission to, first of all, start with a vision of where they think the Northeast will be going to, and then carry out a need assessment. I work with communities, so my experience is that there has to be a kind of interface between government and communities to be able to see where the needs are, and at the same time be able to project where the government wants the nation to go to. It's not enough to say people should tell us what to do. The center of Nigeria, you can't go from the north northeast or northwest to any part of the south without crossing through the north central. So linking of the country has to do with the north central. Road infrastructure, rail, the waterways. The north central is blessed with the river Niger from Niger State coming into Kogi State, with the river Benue and many other rivers, Katsina Ala and many others. These waterways have been used prior to declaration of the creation of Nigeria by colonial traders, and they have been a major thing that led to the creation of establishment of places like Makurdi on the river Benue, Lokoja, and many other things like that. So this is the waterways, the railways, the road network. These things are key, and the other part of it is aspects that have to do with the social development of the people. The North Central is a very, very rich area in culture. And thank God the present government has established the Ministry for the creative industries. The North Central is really blessed. Central is blessed with land and water for agriculture, for forestry, for livestock development. And the commission should be able to look into these areas so that there is proper development of agriculture, forestry, and livestock. When I talk of livestock, with some of the challenges that are there, people may be thinking of cattle, but I'm talking of livestock in general. The area is rich and can produce tremendous benefit. But not just producing the food and the livestock, the industries, agro-industries, are key areas in which the commission should look into, so that we are able to turn milk into other things. We're able to produce beef, we're able to produce wood, we're able to produce all sorts of food and process them, and clothes and shoes and whatnot. This is very, very important. The young youths in this area are also a very key area to look into, and therefore modern industries in terms of apart from the creative industry, digital industry, this is also an area the commission should be able to look at how to cope with security. Without security, all these things will not function. And I think the commission needs to look at the possibility of how to work with the state governments, strengthen various kind of community security systems. When I say community, you can look into trade and commerce. Of course, when you produce, when you have all these, trade and commerce has to be also incorporated into this.
Okay, the aspect of agriculture which you mentioned is quite striking, especially when you compare the number of persons that are confined to the internally displaced persons camps due to armed invasions. And this is not just in Benue, but our other states in the North Central face the same challenge. How will the commission balance between rehabilitating the IDPs as well as promoting agriculture in the North Central region?
Yeah, you see, agriculture is a human activity, and without people, there's nothing like agriculture. What you have is just wild forest, but crops and harvest them, and then sell them out to areas where these crops are needed, and they can have inputs that they need in terms of seed and manure, fertilizer, or whatever it is that they need to produce these crops. These things are important. You can't have successful agriculture without the people being where the farms are. People have to live on the farms. People have to be on the farmland to be able to produce. One of the things we have recommended in Connector over the years, and which we think is going to be very, very helpful, is the development of fencing of lands. People, individuals and communities, and even the government need to look into the aspect of fencing of farmlands. this is one of the practical way of dealing with hardest farmers conflicts, trespassing on people's land, and even the movement of criminals, because with fences around, it limits their ability to move, the speeds with which they can move, and then they can actually be much more easily tracked when there are fences around the place. This has been done in Europe, this has been done in North America, this has been done in Asia. And I can tell you, I keep wondering why Nigerians and the government has refused to really work on this. And I hope the Commission will really take this seriously by working on the fencing of land across the North Central. And I advocate this for all the other geopolitical zones, the other development commissions. They should encourage the fencing of lands, forests, and whatever. There are different approaches and different natural and other constructions that can be done to fence lands, and that will really, really help in providing security for people to farm and to take care of their animals. And as I said, a major part of it is there has to be the trust between government and citizens on security issues. In many areas, government officials are suspicious of citizens' activities in security, and citizens themselves sometimes are not so organized that some miscreants sometimes take advantage of insecurity to do things that they shouldn't be doing. So the Commission needs to be able to work with farmers as the first line of security in any place or community where they are going to be.
Okay, Mr. Sukukum, just before we let you go, what are the key sectors you would suggest that the Commission, in collaboration with governors of the North Central states, should focus on to drive development holistically in the North Central region?
You see, the idea of development has to be collaborative. There has to be partnership. And I think the first thing that the Commission needs to be able to do, and which also involves governments and other stakeholders within the region, is to be able to have platforms where governors can meet to agree on development focus and priorities. The speakers or legislators of the various state houses of assembly in the North Central, that the traditional rulers in the North Central begin to also meet to discuss areas of cultural development and other issues that is primarily their mandate. And it is when these things are taking place that priorities of the Commission can come in. Whatever winning is expected to last for God knows how long. We expect it to last as long as Nigeria is lasting, except if something better comes up. So it has to find a way of envisioning where Nigeria should be, where the North Central should be in the next 5 years, where the North Central should be in the next 10 years, where the North Central should be in the next 20 years. And I can say that with that, key areas that they can look at is the socio-cultural aspect, the security, education, infrastructure, especially as I mentioned earlier, the aspect of roads, electricity, waterways, and agriculture and forestry, tourism, which the North Central is richly blessed with, mining, and then industry and commerce. These are key areas that I believe the Commission should focus on and find ways of linking rural communities to urban markets. That's largely the areas of waterways and roads and railways. I think these are major areas. Educationally, the North Central is doing not too bad as compared to other zones in the north, but there's still a lot that needs to be done. All these things cannot be achieved, especially without media and proper communication systems within the region, educating the people throughout their lives. That's partly the responsibility of the media. So it needs to engage the media in promoting what it has to do. And as I said, is a vision of what should the North Central look like in the future. To me, I can say the North Central should have well-organized roads, quality drinking water and sanitation systems, enough power, 24 hours, good roads linking every community, schools for every child to attend, employment for everyone, which can be provided by agriculture, mining, and all these other things we've talked about.
Suleman Sukukum is the Secretary General Conference of Autochthonous Ethnic Nationalities Community Development Association and a public affairs commentator. He joined us virtually from just the Plateau State capital. We thank you very much indeed, Sukukum, for your thoughts on the program.
Thank you very much.
Okay, Pastor Ogbole, you listen to your co-panelist, Sukukum, who joined us virtually. Are there points he made that you find striking, or areas you differ with his submission?
That has been a very, very robust contribution, I must agree, or I must say. He has proven to have a firm grasp of the issues, bedeviling. A little addition, I won't want to call it modification,
okay,
of one or two of the issues he has raised. The case study of the Northeast, you know, every land determines what you plant. If you take cassava to a swampy land, you are on your own. You should be taking rice to a swampy land, not cassava. It varies the culture, the orientation, the worldview of people vary from one region to the other. For the northeastern people ravaged by the Boko Haram matter or issue, building houses for them, even if it is away from their ancestral homesteads, is something that they can welcome. But we differ here in terms of our cultural orientation. The difference is this. Our sense of fulfillment will not come from you clearing a piece of land just anywhere and building houses for us, to live in. We are not particular about the accommodation, like we are about our attachment to our ancestral homesteads. I don't know if you understand what I'm talking about.
Very well.
So the Benue IDP situation, a lasting solution to it will be that security is restored to the fullest and these people go back to their ancestral homesteads where their ancestors were buried. Those are the lands that they lay ancestral claims to. Those are the farmlands that there are understandings as to boundaries. Who owns this, who farms here, who farms here. All of those matters. That is what will give the Benue man, the Tiv man, the Idoma man, the Igede man, a good sense of closure for all of the atrocities that have been visited on them by the marauding headsmen. Very, very important. So, no other thing will do for us. Building houses for us, in IDP camps, all of those ones will just provide temporary relief. But they are still thinking, what is happening to the graves of my ancestors? What is happening to my own homestead where I was born? All of those matters are very, very important. And number two, going back to the ancestral homesteads and tilling their own ancestral lands will help to improve their agricultural experiences better. Yes, I understand that, some 5,000 hectares of land, they are planning to clear it and to allocate it to them. That's a very good move, especially by the collaboration between the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management and Poverty Reduction and the Benue State government. That's a very, very good move. Some 2 weeks back, there was that meeting where the minister was here alongside some international development partners. I want to see that as a very, very good move. And I want to use this opportunity to commend the state governor, Dr. Reverend Father Haisen Yomem Alia, for that, move. So that's laying further blocks on some of the issues that have been on ground before. I love it when governors come in and then they are laying further blocks on developmental foundations that have been laid by the previous, rather than trying to cut down everything just to lay fresh foundations. So that's a very, very good move. But I want to use this opportunity to recommend that the attention should not be on accommodation. The attention should not be on clearing autonomous land for agricultural purposes. The attention should be on the healing, mental healing from the trauma, mental healing from the issues, and then and this comes only when they have closure. And the closure can come only when they come back. It's not a very difficult thing to do. It's not a difficult thing to do. Because to date, the herdsmen issue is still on. Just day before yesterday, a community in Otukpo was attacked by herdsmen. Many people killed, many critically wounded in the hospital right now. So there is tension in Otukpo now, especially from Okwamaju village and then Asa village. I've been keeping tabs, with those issues because of my interest in these matters.
Yes.
So security can be handled. I think if you would dare to ask, we can provide solution to those matters as we progress.
Very well. Before we engage with the listener shortly, when you talk about successors building a foundation laid by their predecessors, former Governor Samuel Otom was one of the prominent voices advocating the creation of this North Central Development Commission, with it seeing the light of the day courtesy of the law sponsored by Senator Abamoro. To what actually derive benefits from this commission?
Government is a continuum, and the philosophy should be, if Benue wins, all of us win. That should be the mental direction. That should be the mental state of the governor. From the moment you were declared governor, you cease to be an APC governor. You became the governor of Benue State, irregardless of party affiliation. So, you inherited both assets and liabilities of the previous government. So, laying further blocks, that will spell progress for the government is your responsibility. So, I will strongly recommend that this is not a political party affair any longer. It is an issue of furtherance in terms of development. So who sponsored the bill, who promoted the bill, who assented to the bill should not be the issue of consideration. Benue is a constituent state in the North Central arrangement to whom a whole development commission has been given.
Very well.
Therefore, Governor Hyacinth Alia should cooperate with other states within the North Central as far as the needs of the projects within the North Central Development Commission that will bring huge benefit to Benue State is concerned. So I advise that he keys fully into it and to take a vantage position, seeing that one of his senators in Benue State, regardless of party affiliation, one of his senators from Benue State, pushed this bill to the point of conclusion. The Senate President is an APC person. The President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria who assented to this bill is an APC person. They did not say this bill emanated from a PDP senator, so let's stamp it down or shoot it down because it's not our party. No. You see that at that level, they have gone past party consideration. Yes. They are talking about national development. So I advise also that at state level, Governor Hyacinth Alia should quickly take the lead. Let him take the lead in bringing, he has good relationship, with the governors of North Central. I commend him for that kind of good relationship. He is off to Cote d'Ivoire now to attend the 56th birthday of Femi, the additional African Development
President.
Where he's going to seek partnership for agricultural development in Benue State. Those are initiatives that are becoming of a governor. So this, no matter the agricultural initiative or partnership he's able to get from African Development Bank, it will come to still be on this ecosystem now that is troubled. So I recommend that as he comes back, let him take the lead in galvanizing the North Central governors together so they can cash in quickly on this North Central Development Commission issue.
And I think, like you mentioned, if the political party sentiments are actually buried,
Yeah.
Benue will derive a lot of benefit from this commission, because Senator Zam, who represents Benue Northwest, was made. He has also been made chairman of the Senate Committee on North Central Development Commission.
Beautiful.
So is that placing Benue in a vantage position?
Beautiful. It places Benue in a vantage position. So, politics has been a bane of development in Benue State. And I think it is time for this new generation of political leaders, those upcoming and those that are up already, they should be there. Within PDP, factionalization is there. All of those matters. So development and the state is not taking center stage, rather pulling into adulthood. So this is delayed political adolescence for us to be struggling with the issues of factions within APC, factions within PDP, all here in Benue State. So we are not able to post-election galvanize into development or governance. Election is one phase. Let me say politics is one phase. Governance is another phase. And I think long ago we should have metamorphosed from the victories and defeats of 2023 election into collective governance matters that will move Benue forward. But unfortunately, we are still crawling at the politics stage where political sentiment is still ruling. That is not supposed to be. I think all of those matters, let them be settled. The rift between APC National, APC here, the rift between Wike fashion of anyway, PDP and all of those matters, let it be settled.
Very well.
So that we can move ahead.
Very well. Politics just crept in because it's part of the...
no, it's delayed adolescence in the sense that we should have moved on from that long ago. That's my agitation.
All right. Dear listener, we'll take a short breather, and when we are back, we'll start engaging with you. Kindly stay with us. Welcome back from that short break. If you are just tuning in, the program is Perspectives, and we are discussing the approval for the establishment of the North Central Development Commission. And you can participate on the program by phoning in on the number 0814-335-9292. I take the number once again, 0814-335-9292. Once you connect with us, we'd like to know your full name and where you are calling from. Then you make your submission. Kindly keep it brief. In the meantime, the SMS line is also available, which is 0912-699-9404. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, good morning, sir. Nongu.
Thank you for joining us.
My name is Tehide.
Okay, welcome, yes. Tehide.
All right. Thank you so much for this day. I will bless God for this. This is a good development. North Central, not only North Central, I will be precise with my seat, and I'm very happy about this. This Northern Descendant, they just put it onto to the reality. It will bring good governance, and it's showing that they are not showing our president is not showing this partiality, that he's not from this party, he's not from this party, this state is not from this. So I applaud him for this. And for us, we the followers, we have to, unity is the utmost of everything. Unity. We don't have to, no, I'm in this group, this one is from this group, and this, that. We have to be one, and that will give us a straight system that development will come into our state and into our country. That's my decision. Thank you so much, and God bless Nigeria too.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you, Tehide. We appreciate you. Thank you for calling in. Okay, Tehide believes that the president did not show partiality. Of course, he should not, because Benue is Nigeria. Benue voted for the president too, so there should be no partiality. Hello, good morning, and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, Mr. Nathan.
Thank you for joining the program.
You're welcome. I regard your guest in the studio.
Thank you.
My name is Ibrahim Akura. A young person from Boku, local government.
All right, good to have you, Igbayima.
Signing the bill for North Central Commission into law is a good omen. It's a welcome development too, to my own perspective. But what I want to urge here is that let the Commission stand firm to the core objectives of establishing it, so that it will bring about development to the North Central. Let it not be irrespective of party affiliation or tribalism. Let the Commission should not be sectorial. This tribe is from here, this one is from here. Let them exercise their functions optimally so that development will come to our state. And we, the North Central, should cooperate with those that are saddled with the responsibility of minding the Commission. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you, Igbayima. We appreciate you for calling in. All right. The North Central Commission is for development, and I think that should be the agenda it should pursue. Hello, good morning. Good morning. Okay, we lost connection with you. But the line is still available. Let's hear from you how you feel about the creation of the North Central Development Commission. What are the areas it should look into for development challenges? Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Yeah, good morning. My name is Matthias Paul Ude calling. Yeah, BSU, opposing the teaching hospital.
Okay, go ahead, Matthias.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be the guest speaker. I guess his name is Pastor Ogbole.
Ogbole?
He spoke.
Pastor
Yes.
Ogbole? Yes, not Bole.
Ogbole, thank you very much.
Yes.
He spoke so perfectly. He spoke in a way that conveyed a message crystal clear. And I sincerely wish that such kind of program with such kind of guest speaker should be placed in an open radio along the street everywhere so that people will hear and learn.
Okay. Paul, Matthias, by open radio, where else should it be?
Like all over the street. It should be played with loudspeaker all over the street.
Oh,
so
really?
that every man or woman should learn.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yes, he's so vast in his knowledge, and I truly appreciate it.
Thank you.
But,
so, on the subject matter now.
Thank you.
Yeah, on the subject matter now, the issue we face in Nigeria is not only setting up commission, because over time we have set up a lot of commissions. Most of that law passed by the state government and the federal government comes alongside commission. Like we have the ICPC commission, we have this commission, we have the commission. But setting up a commission comes with further issues or lacuna, where we have issues like poor funding, bureaucracy in implementation of function. You see, then we start having clashes between one commission with another.
Now,
these are the problems.
Matthias,
yes.
Kindly, if you permit me, maybe I should refresh your mind that this commission is dedicated specifically to North Central Development, and it's called North Central Development Commission, and it's not going to operate anything outside of North Central.
I guess that's just an illustration with what has been happening with other commissions. But I'm hampering on issue of poor fundings. I see issues of the commission not gaining attention. So it transcends beyond, the submission I'm making is that it transcends beyond just establishing a commission to look into development in the North Central, but also adequate attention should be given to that commission. We should hold the commission to its neck, to its feet, that this commission must travel, this commission must see to that it progress beyond our imagination.
Okay.
That's
Matthias, thank you. We appreciate your submission.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. So the federal government should fund the North Central Development Commission properly. By the way, I think the members of the House of Assembly should make a law for us to install radio sets on every street of Makudi so that when Ogbole is talking in the studio, we should get to hear him loud and clear.
Thank you very much. I
Good
take
morning,
that as a compliment.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for joining us on the program.
Good morning, Matthias, Nongu, and the guests in the house.
My name is Nathaniel. The last caller is Matthias.
Nathaniel, Nongu, sorry.
All right.
Pastor Ogbole.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so my name is Brother Neka Oji, calling from Welfare Quarter.
All right, Emeka Oji, thank you.
Okay, so there's something I wanted to inform him about.
Yes.
Because I heard about this Southeast Development Commission that has been inaugurated by the president. But he was saying that it has not been put. It has not been so. I heard this some weeks ago.
That what?
The Southeast Development Commission, I think it's already on board.
Okay.
But he contested that. I heard it.
Okay.
Inaugurated that.
Yeah, I stand to be corrected. Actually, Oji, I didn't know it has been assented to. As in signed into law by the president. If it has, then that's a very good one.
Okay, it was even down there in the east.
Okay. Wow. That's a very good one. I stand to be corrected. Sorry about that omission.
The issue of the Development Commission is a welcome development. That is why the president grabbed this Minister of Niger Delta. In fact, one of the reasons he gave that he wants to go back to regional development through this Development Commission. So in the case of Niger Delta, which you started with the opening commission, the people actually fought for it. But in the case of the Northeast, North Central, and others, it's a kind of reaction to the devastation caused by militants and bandits. So my question now is, the North Central Development Commission has the Fulani are still attacking. Boko Haram is still attacking there. So if, in my own opinion, if the issue, the reason that gives rise to it is not tackled, do you think that the NCDC will be able to achieve its purpose? Because you is to take adequate measures, mobilize, and then root these people out completely before the people will now enjoy the benefits of these development commissions in the north. That is my own opinion. I want you to throw more light on that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Emeka Oji. We appreciate your opinion. Okay, we'll reflect on that as we go along. I think part of the reasons why the commission is coming on board is to address the challenges as well. So
I think it's important we just interject here and
just a moment,
okay,
because the line is still quite busy. We'll note it. Okay. When we come back, we should. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, good morning, sir. Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us on the program.
Thank you very much. My regards to your guest in the studio, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, this is Vincent. I'm calling from Michelle Bakut Road.
Okay, Vincent.
Thank you very much. I want to first of all commend the federal government for the approval of the North Central Development Commission. And I also want to thank Senator Abamuru for sponsoring that bill. You see, in this country, when somebody is on the losing part, that person will start preaching peace and unity. I want to say that the governor of Benue State, His Excellency, Reverend Father Hyacinth Asha, has been doing his best, trying to build a closer settlement for the people by the headsmen. I see nothing wrong in that, because we need to start from somewhere.
Hello, Vincent.
Sir?
Our discussion is not actually about, we are not contesting the efforts of the governor in any way. We are focusing purely on the commission. So, could you tie your discussion, your contribution to the North Central Commission strictly, if you may?
Okay. It's a good one. Thank you very much, sir.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. So, please, it should be clear. Our discussion is on the North Central Development Commission and not just any other thing outside of this focus. So, if you call in, your submission should be in line with this. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, Nathaniel.
Thank you for joining us, sir.
Yeah, David Ojime, calling from Logotu.
Oh, good to have you join us, sir. Welcome to Perspectives.
That's right. Let me appreciate your guest in the studio.
Thank you, sir.
Pastor Ogbole.
Thank you, sir. Doctor.
I wish I could sit and listen to him as my lecturer anytime, any moment.
Thank you.
Yeah, you have brought this discussion, a very important topic. This Development Commission, North Central, very, very important. But when Pastor was giving out his thoughts on this matter before you threw the lines open, he said among the very important things that we need to do is this issue of security. And he says security is very easy to handle. He said security is very easy to handle. I want him to dwell on this further. Because insecurity is everybody's concern. And thank you very much.
Okay, sir. Thank you. A word about the commission? Maybe?
No, the commission is a welcome idea.
Okay.
And I think it will draw us closer to the federal government attention. So it's a welcome idea. And I urge the people who are saddled with the responsibility of overseeing these affairs to be fair in handling the commission so that we derive maximum benefits from it. Thank you very much.
We thank you very much, sir, for your contribution of perspectives.
That's right. That's right.
Thank you, sir. Okay, so Pastor Ogbole, Dr. Ojima has taken you up to task on. Anyway, we'll come back. We are noting this. We'll get to it. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives. Good morning.
Thank you, Mr. Nathaniel.
We thank you too.
This is Solomon Peke. My regards to the clergyman in the house.
Thank you. Go ahead, Solomon. Solomon, where are you reaching us from?
To us.
Thank you very much, sir.
I'm calling from Uday Town in Goma local government.
All right.
The issue of this North Central Commission. Let's look at the security issues. The security issues should be properly addressed so that we may know where we're heading to. I'm talking about where we're heading to is about having the commission on ground, then fixing ministry of this commission in North Central. So we'll be having our minister for this region. Hello?
Yes, you're on, Solomon.
So I'm also saying, let's work together, embrace peace, ask these bandits and Boko Haram and these herdsmen, what is their problem? What are they agitating for? If it is greatly reserved, let's take a look so that we will now have 2 eyes closed for 24 hours so that we will know that we are heading to somewhere. But this, when you talk about Niger Delta Commission, when the issue started, I think they came on board and told Mr. President, good luck, their problem. And they were signed into law, give them the ministry of their own. I think the issue became thing of the past as I speak to you now. So let's think about that and look about way forward. I think by so doing, we'll know where we're heading to.
Okay, Solomon, thank you for your position. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right. Okay. Okay, 0814-335-9292. A few more engagements and then we'll come back to the studio. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Good morning, Mr. Nathaniel Nongu.
Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Joseph there, Pastor Dave Ogbole. I am Engineer Sunday Akpa. I'm calling from Dobbs, Bakodi.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Akpa.
Thank you very much. Yeah, the lecture has been quite circulating. I know Pastor Dave Ogbole is an orator and has actually, given us very good lecture. Now, having said that, the name implies North Central Development Commission, it's for development. And my advice is that we should be deliberate and intentional when we're about to intentional in deliberate in making sure they bring development to the North Central. It should be devoid of tribalism, nepotism. Shouldn't be. This is my thesis. This should be. They need to put competent people there, and then the employment also the people that buy it should be equitably distributed about the state with competent hands handle it, so that it won't be a case of a lopsided people manning it, and then the whole thing will turn to a fiasco. So that's my advice, and it's a very good one. And I believe, I'm very positive about it. There will be development. Even when it starts taking off, when it takes off, the issue of the insecurity and the rest, they'll find their level. They will know how to handle it. Because there's a commission in place. Nobody can come from anywhere and begin to destroy our place like that. Because if there's no security, there can't be development. So it's going to be on the front burner. And I believe if competent people or competent hands are put in place and are intentional and deliberate about the commission, the development of the North Central, it's going to be on the end of it. Thank you very much for this topic. It's a nice one.
Thank you, Sunday Akbar. We appreciate you for calling in. Thank you. Okay, let's take a few messages. This one says, good morning, Mr. Nongu and the guest. The assent of the bill by, it should be two anyway, the assent to the bill by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu marks a great transformative era for our region. It reaffirms our collective belief in a government that prioritizes inclusive growth, equitable development, and national unity. I am confident that the Commission will fulfill its mandate in addressing the developmental challenges of the North Central region and contribute meaningfully to the advancement of our communities. Congratulations to the good people of the North Central region, and in particular the people of Benue State, on this landmark achievement, which stands as evidence of our vibrant democracy and benefits of aligning with this government. Ko Ephraim from Welfare Quarters in Makodi. Okay, Ko, we thank you for your submission. This one says, good morning, presenter and the guests in the studio. I appreciate all the people who have worked relentlessly towards implementing this commission. And my suggestion is, as it is called a development commission, they should focus more on development and nothing else. I also appreciate the pastor in the studio for his enlightenment. Thank you. Manasseh Uja from Welfare Quarters in Makodi. Manasseh, thank you. This one says the creation of North Central Development Commission is again planned, which should be accepted by common ground to steer development. Good morning, panelists. Isaac Utsua from Tejiman Igoma. Okay, Isaac, thank you for your message. This one says, the good day presenter and the guests in the studio, I appreciate the unbiased president of this country, the facilitator, the distinguished senator, and his co-facilitators for the North Central Development Commission. It's a welcome development, especially the community hit by headers. I am appealing to both the federal, state, and political actors to put public policies that will fast-track development in the commission. Nyajo Godwin from Bajimba in Goma local government. Thank you, Nyajo Godwin. Good morning.
KN Kano, northwest part of Nigeria this morning.
All right, Tefa Kiruke, welcome to Perspectives from KN.
Good morning. Wow. Good morning for encouraging this program.
Yes.
You see, North Development Basin Commission.
North Central Development, not Basin.
North Central.
Yes.
The thing was established to create jobs and to bring federal appointment or federal development to the North Central geopolitical zone and other part of country. To me, this commission, they should have to reform it and rehabilitate it so that they can bring more innovation. I think by doing that, the thing will go smoothly, because in short time, they were having cases of appointment based on sentiment. Most of the people in that geopolitical
commission has just been assented to for establishment. The bill for its establishment has just been assented to by President Tinubu. So which of the commission are you talking about? The appointments in it were not based on merit? Or are you referring to something different from what we are discussing?
Okay. I thought that is Lower Basin Development Authority.
Okay, no, that's entirely different.
Okay, the thing should pass. There should be speedy passing so that President will establish it, so that the thing will bring dividends of democracy. That is my take.
Thank you, Tefa. We appreciate
Thank you. Have a nice day.
Have a great day, too. Thanks. One more message here. Good morning, presenter. The commission is a welcome development. Let them go ahead and do it. Thank you for giving me an opportunity. I'm Igbiawase. Yours as say Paul, popularly known as Ability from IQ. Okay, Paul, thank you for your message. From our live stream feed here, to do a corner, says he's watching live on Facebook from kilometer 35 Makudi, Alede Road. And he says, God bless President Ahmed Bola Tinubu for doing the needful without biases. Okay, Dodue, thank you. Good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Welcome to Perspectives.
Yes, this is Kwaza Vincent calling from North Bank.
Okay, Kwaza Vincent, North Bank's network seems to be unstable. Maybe you want to change your position so we can hear you well. Hello, Vincent, are you there?
Yes, yes.
Okay, speak on. The network is still a bit fluctuating.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kwaza. We may have to disconnect with you because the network is getting more unfriendly. But let's pause the course temporarily and come back. Pastor Ogbole, we begin with the concern raised by Professor David Ojima. You listened to him. He alluded to your comments of insecurity and security, tackling it being simple. Maybe he wanted you to give more insights in the light of this commission and how our people can respond to security challenges. You listened to Professor David Ojima, right?
Yeah, I did. Thank you very much for revisiting that. Basically, a security policy a good security policy should be based on value for human lives and livelihoods of people. That should be the basis for a sound security policy. It is not just absence of tension, but value for human lives. And if you look at nations who have prioritized the security or the value for the lives of their citizens, you see it affects how they approach security. One American was captured by bandits here in Nigeria, just one American. And a team of Delta Force was sent from America. They rescued that person from the fringes of our border here. It was when that person landed safely in Washington and the president received him that the announcement was made by President Trump that their national who was abducted has been rescued. See the kind of value they have for one life, that they would deploy security from America thousands of miles away to come and conduct an operation here and rescue one person. But for us, where any nation where human life is just a statistic, 200 people killed in Zamfara, 300 people killed by bandits, whatsoever here, there seems to be a gradual, disintegration in terms of value for human life. So I want to establish that as a foundation. Value for human life should be there. And when it comes to this matter of security in North Central, you see that the flashpoints for this security breakdown or marauders invasion is known. The flashpoints are known. The cycle and pattern is also established over the years. It has not changed. So it's like Christmas, that is an established date, 25th of December, yet it takes many people by surprise. This shouldn't be taking us by surprise again because it has crystallized into a pattern. Let me begin by talking about the flashpoints. What are the basic things that give rise to this headers crisis or invasion? Number one, influx of cattle from the semi-arid north when the rainfalls, recede, and then there is scarcity of grass and fresh water. They begin to come towards the center where there are still remnants of, green grass and fresh water. That one is a pattern or a cycle that has existed for hundreds of years. Okay. You may not blame that on climate change. No. We're talking about the fundamental issues here now. So the time of their migration towards the middle is also known. They usually migrate here and then they go back when the rains begin to fall. Okay, that's one. What are the basic needs for cattle? Fresh water and grass. And anywhere there is no fresh water and grass, you will hardly find the matter of invasion. It's an established fact. Okay, even in Benue State here, not all of the states are affected. Not all of the local governments, are affected. All because they are not situated in flashpoints where there is fresh water, especially fresh water. Grasses are all over in Benue State, but cattle cannot survive without fresh water. That's why you see the flashpoints. Makodi is beside the river, it is known. Agatu is beside the river, it is known. Gwe West is beside the river, it is known. Kasinala is beside the river, it is known. Buruku is beside the river, it is known. And you can take it all. Guma, one of the worst hit local governments, is beside the river. So you can see that these are established flashpoints. Your problem of security is half solved if flashpoints are known. And number two, your problem of security is also half solved if a pattern has been established that has not failed for the past 20 years. If a pattern is known and flashpoints are known, then deployment first of all of resilience security forums in communities, and number two, what we call EWS, early warning signals. All of those matters can easily be established in those affected communities. How come it does not go beyond those communities? The same communities that have been attacked for over 10 years are the same communities that are still being attacked.
All right. Now, having established let's tie it to what the commission can do to fill in the void.
Good.
Yes.
So having established the flashpoints now, and having established the pattern or the cycle now, what the commission should do further is to see to it that all of those communities, there is enough level of education and sensitization going through. But the apparatuses that will enhance early warning signals is something that needs to be established in those affected communities. And then number two, when we talk about apparatuses, we are talking about human systems. Then number two, there are security gadgets, modern security gadgets that have been invested in by states. And if these security gadgets are invested, now you don't need human scouts where you can have drones. You don't even need human drones in certain places when you have thermal heat sensing equipments that can be established on our border areas. And then number three, our border areas have been left fallow. If the government of the North Central states, now through the North Central Development Commission, will invest in massive land clearing and agricultural activities in these flashpoints, you will discover that where nature has been left untouched, or the agriculture and for industrialization, anywhere that is open and human activities are going on, not grasses lying fallow, they don't come to those areas. So the North Central Development Commission now should, number one, prioritize security by investing in gadgets that can, help to warn security agencies of influx of these people, and then to also invest in land clearing in those border flashpoints where agriculture and industrialization take center stage. When those places are adequately utilized, there is no space for these headers to come in. There is no space also for their marauders or the armed militia to also come in. Right. Very, very important. And then, finally, the issue of sabotage is very, very key.
Yeah, I was going to come to that because closely related to that. Because it is alleged, like even yesterday, former Governor Samuel Otom, in responding to commending President Bola Tinubu, made mention of the fact that the North Central, where it is alleged that there are attacks there due to the gold that is discovered in Kwande for mining. And if you look at the North Central composition of the region, Niger is also facing attacks resultant from mining, which commentators have alleged that it is due to economic sabotage. Economic reasons are behind it. So, closely related, how can we deal with the problem of economic sabotage using this commission?
Sabotages economically are manned and supervised by cabals. And it's unfortunate that besides our democracy, we have what we call a cabalocracy. Cabalocracy is a government of cabals who are at the economic gates, various economic gates, and they are sabotaging national resources for their personal interests. In the light of cabalocracy, you will discover that a whole lot of the crises in Nigeria are resource-based crises. Resource-based crises. And for it to go unchecked, it is because there are sabotaging interests within. Some big powers are interested and they are gaining from it. Let's ask some simple questions. Boko Haram eats every single day. Who supplies them food in the bush? They have Hilux trucks. They have armored vehicles that they seize from Nigerian military personnel. Who supplies fuel there? Who supplies ammunition for their weapons? Who supplies medical equipment to them and medicine? Who supplies the drugs that gets them high? You discover that there is economic interest. And anywhere this kind of violence is allowed to continue, some people are profiting from it. Okay. Down south, what's the interest? Oil. North central, what is the interest? Solid mineral, land, fresh water. Northwest, what is the interest? Solid mineral. Northeast, what is the interest? Solid mineral also. So Nigeria, all the theaters of conflict, there are resource issues there. I don't want to go further on these matters. But a government that develops a will to be able to check these matters, that government has enough apparatus. I want to say here that after God is government. And if the government wakes up to say, this sabotage of natural resources that is profiting just a few of the cabals must stop, they know the cabals. Government has adequate information on who controls the minings of gold in Zamfara, who controls all of those bauxite issues and so on in our Logo, Kasenala area and so on, all of those matters. So it's another consideration that the government is supposed to be looking into and then addressing the cabals that mount this gate. If individuals and cabal settings, like they are talking about the Forex cabal, who are the ones that are causing Nigeria's dollar to rise, and so all of those matters, they began to raid their camps and so on. And look at the effect it is producing. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, in his policies, has demonstrated enough will and commitment. It is now left for the agencies to remove religious sentiments from it and remove economic interest from it. When I mean religious sentiment, you know what I'm talking about. A lot of our insecurity has religious undertone, it. So if those things are removed, and then the security the agencies now, all of the saboteurs within the security agencies are known. Retire them entirely. Remove them from the army. And let there be a puritanical armed forces. Our armed forces are the second best ground forces in Africa. They can rout any set of marauders or any set of bandits. They can rout it. I believe in the armed forces of Nigeria. If they are given the right equipment and then the right will or motivation, they can do anything. So it is solvable. So the North Central Development Commission now should foster this collaboration, security collaboration among the member states. We share common borders within the North Central. Now that we're coming together in a greater cohesion under this North Central Development Commission, the issue of borderline patrol, all of those matters should be taken into consideration very seriously, because now we've been existing as autonomous states before, but now we're coming together under one umbrella of a commission.
Yes.
Therefore, the issue of our border, porous borders, should be addressed.
All right. Let's engage with a few more persons. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Thank you very much for this opportunity, Mr. Nongu. This is Solomon Peke.
Okay, Solomon, be very brief now. If you were the second time, you are a second time
very
caller.
brief, sir.
Please.
I want to say kudos to that security expert. The issue of security, as I told you, I bet you, from my own perspective, if it is handled and addressed properly in this Niger Delta this North Central Commission we are trying to talk about. In fact, it will just give us speedily development. So let it be checked and let it be handled properly. Because the local government are highly involved. And in fact, Goma was last local government he called. I was saying, oh my God, is he going to omit local government of Goma, which is known as the border area of Nasarawa?
Thank you.
Apart from Ode,
Solomon, thank you. I think your point is made. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. You are a second-time caller, so if we really need to be brief so we can allow others also have the opportunity. Hello, good morning. Hello. Good morning and welcome to Perspectives.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Nathaniel Nongu.
Thank you for joining us.
My regards to you guests in the studio, man of God, Pastor Ogbole.
Thank you.
My name is Nathaniel, calling from Badimba.
Nathaniel who?
Okay, Nathaniel Nwanyo. The North Central.
Hello, Nathaniel. Hello.
We seem to have lost him.
Oh, we lost connection with you. It's really unfortunate. 0814-335-9292. A few more calls and then we shall be gradually drawing our concluding thoughts. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay, sometimes the network can be doing this. Telecom operators in the country have been having issues recently. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Perspectives.
Hello, good morning.
Thank you for joining us.
Yes, it's Kwaza Vincent calling from North Bank.
Okay, Kwaza Vincent, go ahead.
Yes, I greet the guests in the studio and I get radio.
Thank you.
Is it the creation of the North Central Development Commission is a welcome development? If only the commission is there to address the issue of insecurity. You see, there is no development that can take place without security, without the security of people guaranteed. So if the commission is saddled with the responsibility of ending this insecurity before the development, it will go a long way in helping us. Because there is nowhere the development will be going on and then the insecurity, the challenge of insecurity will be still there. So the development, the commission should first of all address the issue of insecurity before the development.
Okay.
So it will go a long way in helping us.
Thank you, Vincent.
Thank you.
We appreciate. Now, it's not just about insecurity. A whole gamut is involved about development. But you are aware that previously some of these development commissions have been existing in other regions. Let's look at the reasons that may be likely that may hinder development, even with the existence of these commissions, and how this present North Central Development Commission can avoid the pitfalls so that development in the region is not stagnated.
Thank you very much. The Ogoni spillage has not been cleaned up to date. The people there don't have their source of livelihood back. Niger Delta is still an impoverished community when you come to the micro indices of development. All because the multiplicities of government attention or agencies there has not been able to address developmental challenges in those areas of Niger Delta. In favor of the Niger Delta Development Commission. And there's a sense of uniformity going across the nation now, where there is a tacit, reversal back to regionalization in terms of regional development. And why is it so? Taking a lesson from the Niger Delta development issue. The first one is that engagement was based on sentiment rather than competence. Engagement of hands to work the both needs assessment and implementation of the goals of the commission. People were engaged based on political sentiments, recommendation from political issues. These people served us where they voted for us, therefore give us somebody from here. Rather than, technocrats who are competent in handling this matter. That's the first pitfall that we must avoid in the North Central Development Commission. People must be engaged in it, not as a matter of political sentiment or tribal sentiment, to say, this person is the chairman of the committee. He's a thief person, so let thief people come in. Abamoro is an Idoma person, so let Idoma people come in and spearhead. And Plateau people say that, no. Let us look across these states in North Central and engage competent hands that will drive this commission. That's the first way it will not fail. Number two, the Niger Delta Development Commission, we're just taking a case study now.
Yes.
You see, it eventually became a conduit to loot national resources. There was massive corruption there because the monies released does not go to the development of local communities like it was meant for. What was called something the end of the road communities. Those are the end users or end beneficiaries, which is the local person who does not have land to farm again because of oil spillage, and then he cannot fish again because of the spillage in the waters that has killed there because of corruption, looting of the resources. That is something we must look at very, very critically. So our watchdog agencies, financial watchdog agencies, should be at alert to ensure that the funds that will be released, for the propagation and the prosecution of the policies and implementation of the goals and programs of the North Central Development Commission be monitored well, so it is not looted, it is not shared on basis of political patronage. Then number three, politicization. Yes. Politicization. This party is at the helm of affairs now. It should control the issues of the Development Commission. And no. There shouldn't be politicization. Development should be void of political sentiments or consideration. And then the next one that may hinder is the matter of poor funding. If the government is not giving critical funding attention to any issue, you will discover that where there is no money, a vision can wither. So let there be adequate funding. And then let the states also be involved. When states stand aloof and they are waiting for the federal purse to do everything, cooperation within member states is very, very important. The Niger Delta states were fighting with each other. This one, you're part of Niger Delta, you're not part of Niger Delta. Didn't you collect you from southeast here because there is small oil? All of those issues, let's avoid them around here. So, poor funding. And then the next one is absence of monitoring and evaluation. Any policy that is not monitored and evaluated in Nigeria usually will fail. Such that successive governments away from President Ahmed Bola Tinubu should be able to build on the successes of this administration and not tear it down in order to build something new that is to their name. Let there be monitoring, let there be evaluation, so that there can be correction of deviations from the original blueprint of these commissions, such that from each successive administration, the commission's goals are being achieved continuously. So this will enhance sustainability. So I enumerate one more time.
All right.
Let's engage based on competence and not sentiment. Number two, let's see that there is no corruption or looting of these resources. Number three, no politicization. Number four, let there be adequate funding. And number five, let there be monitoring and evaluation to correct any form of deviation from the blueprint.
All right. A few more messages and then we'll come back to draw our concluding thoughts. This one says, quite a long one, but I will take time to go through it. I start by thanking our Gate Radio for always being quick in selecting important issues for discussion and perspectives. Then I must thank President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Senator Abamoro, and our dynamic SGF, Dr. George Akume, for the synergy that produced the North Central Development Commission. On behalf of all persons who have been deeply committed to the security of Benue State and North Central over the years, I must commend our intelligent and eloquent Pastor Dave Ogbole for laying out the top issues that the new North Central Development Commission must pay attention to. I pray that the team to manage the commission will be experienced and courageous enough to manage the interstate competition that will automatically escalate and to develop a special think tank on the aspect of insecurity. My advice would be that the commission must find ways to get full cooperation of state governors, godfathers, and private economic superpowers in the region. Every part of Nigeria is heavily interested in our heavily endowed North Central. So again, I repeat that the kind of management team, particularly at this pioneer stage, must be highly professional and patriotic. Thanks to our Gate Radio, the man of God in the studio, David Ogbole, and the online guests, we have no choice than to pray very hard. Dr. Sam Abba from Ogbole, Ohimini local government area. Thank you very much, Dr. Abba, for your message. And I think on that fine note, that will be where we'll draw our concluding thoughts. And Pastor Ogbole, in 60 seconds, the top priorities of areas of focus for rehabilitation and strengthening, rebuilding the North Central region that has been devastated should be what for this new commission? That should be your concluding words.
Security, topmost. And number 2, power in terms of electricity. This will enable the North Central to process what it produces and stop being a conduit or feeder point to production processes in the South, especially the industrialized South. Only power can aid industrialization, so we must look at security, we must look at power. Then, consequent of power, we will now revitalize the issue of industrialization, or let me say agro-based industrialization, and then solid mineral exploitation. All of those matters should be looked at. So those are economic activities that are resultant effects of, giving some good priority attention to this. And with that, we will have a North Central that is capable of holding the balance between the North and the South. Things only fall apart when the center cannot hold.
We pray the center should hold this commission.
So North Central is the glue that holds the North and the South together.
Yes.
So if the North Central works, Nigeria will always be together. Therefore, this is a welcome development, and we must be given the adequate attention to ensure that the center continues to hold.
And that will be a fine place for us to leave it on to this edition of Perspectives. Pastor Dave Ogbole is a clergy and a public affairs commentator. He joined us on this edition of Perspectives to share thoughts with us on the approval for the establishment of the North Central Development Commission. Pastor Ogbole, always a delight having you on the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nathaniel.
And earlier on, we had joining us Suleman Sukukum. He is the Secretary General Conference of Autochthonous Ethnic National Mission. Goodbye.